IELTS speaking, topic music, questions 1. What kind of music do you like? Answer. I'm really into soft tunes, especially anything with a bit of soul. They are calming and perfect for unwinding after a long day. And sometimes I go for something upbeat when I need to lift my mood. But that's rare. Questions 2. Have your music preferences had changed over time? Answer. Absolutely. When I was younger, I listened to more pop and rock, and now I lean more towards indie or Sufi music. Something with a deeper meaning or mellow vibes. It's like my taste has matured with me to some, piece of song, and rather than just sounds, I have started to focus on words. Question 3. Is there a kind of music you don't enjoy? Answer. I would say heavy metal is not my cup of tea. It's a bit too intense for my liking and gives me headaches. I prefer softer, more melodic tunes that help me relax to think clearly, especially the ones that have a low sound but a great lyric. Questions 4. Do you know someone who does not enjoy listening to music? Answer. Surprisingly, yes. My cousin Sam is not a big fan of tunes at all. He prefers podcasts or silence, especially when he is working or studying. He is more of an avid reader and prefers poems than sound. Questions 5. What type of music would you like to explore in the future? Answer. I've been meaning to get into jazz. It has this timeless feel, and I'd love to learn more about its history and enjoy those classical rhythm. And I have a friend circle who go nuts listening to it, and I want to know what's so great about it. Topic fashion. Questions 1. Are you interested in fashion? Answer. Absolutely. I'm quite into it. I love playing around with different looks, especially when it comes to accessories. Dressing up feel like second nature to me, and it's a great way to stand out from the crowd. And sometimes I will even push the envelope a little to see how bold I can go. Questions 2. Who influenced your sense of style? Answer. Without a doubt, my older cousin Sarah had the biggest influence on me. She always dressed to the nines and had a knack for putting together unique outfits, and that's so cool. Watching her mix and match different styles really opened my eyes to how fun fashion could be, and now I try to follow in her footsteps and add my own twist. Question 3. Is fashion important in your country? Answer. Oh, for sure. People here definitely dress to impress, especially in cities. It is seen as a way to show off personality, and a lot of people make an effort to stay on top of trends. It's like keeping up with the Jonases when it comes to style. Question 4. Do you know anyone who is not into fashion? Answer. Yeah, my friend Sam couldn't care less about it. He's more of a grab whatever clean kind of guy, not really fused about how things look, and I think for him, comfort is a number one name of the game. It's fun because he sticks out like a sore thumb when we all go out, but he does not mind at all. Comfort is number one for him. Questions 5. What kind of clothes would you like to buy in the future? Answer. I'm really eyeing some oversized jackets, and they are on trend and look effortlessly cool and simple. And now I would love to get a couple for the color season. It's the kind of piece that can make you feel fashionable without even trying. Topic hairstyles. Question 1. How often do you change your hairstyle? Answer. Honestly, not very often. I usually stick to a style that's easy to maintain, but once in a while, I felt the urge to try something new. It's a fun to experiment, but I like keeping it simple most of the time. Too easy maintenance, of course. Number 2, have you ever had a hairstyle you didn't like? Answer. Oh yeah, I tried a really short cut that didn't suit me at all. It was one of those impulsive decisions, and I regretted it as soon as I saw myself in the mirror. Thankfully, hair grows back. And question 3, is there anyone you know who has a unique hairstyle? Answer. Sam, one of my friends, is always changing her look. She has had everything from bright colors to bold cuts and length variation too. It really suits her personality, and I admire how confident she is in pulling off any style. Questions for: what kind of hairstyle would you like to try in the future? Answer: I've been thinking about a layered look or maybe adding some highlight, something a bit different but not too drastic, just to freshen up my usual style. And I have thin and small ones, and I cannot think of many to be honest. Questions 5. Do you think your style says something about a person's personality? Answer: definitely. The way someone makes their hair can really reflect their mood or vibe. Some people go for a bold and daring look, and while the others stick with something classic and neat, and it's all about self expression, right? As well as the place they are in. Topic: promises. Question 1. Why do people make promises? Answer: if I'm not mistaken, folks often make commitments to build trust and strengthen relationship. It helps to create a bond of reliability between individuals, showing that they can be counted on. For instance, when friends vow to support each other during tough times, it solidifies their connection and trust. Questions 2. Why do some people break promises? Answer: as far as I can tell, individuals fail to keep their word because they misjudge their ability to follow through. Sometimes they overcommit or face unexpected challenges and making it difficult to stick to their initial pledge. For example, someone might assure their friend of helping with a project, but work or personal issues might get in the way. Questions 3. Is it easier to keep promises to friends or family? Answer: if I'm not mistaken again, keeping commitments to family can sometimes feel more obligatory due to deeper emotional bonds. However, one may feel more relaxed when making promises to friends, as there is often more flexibility in those relationships. And for instance, an individual might prioritize a promise made to their parents, as familial expectation can hold greater significance. Questions 4. Are promises more significant in business or personal relationships? Answer: from what I have noticed in both areas, keeping a commitment is key, but the impact differs. In business, it reflects professionalism and can affect one's reputation, like a personal branding, while in personal relationships, it shows loyalty and care. If someone in the workplace repeatedly fails to deliver on their assurances, they risk losing trust with colleagues. Questions 5. Are verbal promises as binding as written ones? Answer: as I see it in personal setting, verbal commitment often carry weight because they reflect personal trust and intention. However, in professional environment, written agreements are more valued to ensure legal clarity and mutual understanding. For example, a handshake D between friends might suffice, but in business, a contract would be necessary. Topic: poems. Question 1. Do you enjoy reading poems? Oh, absolutely. I've always been drawn to them. There is something about the way they pack so much emotion into a few lines that really speaks to me. Whether it's something light-hearted or more profound, I find this writing incredibly captivating. Sometimes I don't get the exact meaning, but still enjoy the rhyming play of words. Questions 2. Did you learn poems in school? Answer: definitely. We studied sastra. We studied a bunch of them in English classes, Indonesian classes, Japanese classes, and some of them really left an impression on me. One in particular was about nature's beauty, and it totally changed how I look at the world around me. And funny how certain texts stay with you, right? Question 3. Do you have a favorite poet or poems? For answer: for sure. Like Sansekerta languages. His work, especially where the mind is without fear, always hits home for me, and there is something is so powerful yet simple in his words, and they leave a lasting impact every time I read it. Question 4. Would you like to write poems yourself? Answer: If given a chance, why not? I've always given it a shot as a couple of times. It's harder than it looks, but I find it quite relaxing. Even if my lines don't flow perfectly or sound polished, it's a great way to let out my thoughts. It's kind of like a journaling, but with a bit more creativity, and I feel like I can do it if I put my mind to it. Question 5. Do you know anyone who does not like poems? Answer. Yeah, Sam again, a friend of mine. Isn't it a fan of that style of writing? He thinks they are too abstract and prefers straightforward stories. I've shared a few of my favorite verses with him, but he never seems to get into it. Not interested for him. Honestly, I think he just doesn't understand the hidden meaning. That's why he keeps it out. Topic: planets. Question 1. Do you like learning about planets? Answer. Definitely. There is something fascinating about how each one is so different, from scorching hot Venus to icy Neptune. I used to love reading about them as a kid, and I still enjoy space documentaries now and then. It's just mind-blowing how huge the universe is and how small we are in this universe. Like, it also helps me to lessen my overthinking. Question 2. Have you ever studied planet in school? Answer. Fortunately, yes. I remember learning about them in science class. It was not fun of other lessons in it, but this was one of my favorite topics. This idea that some of them have storms that last for centuries really amazed me. Even now, I still find space exploration exciting. Question 3. What is your favorite planet? Answer. I would pick Saturn because of its ring. It's just beautiful. It just looks so unique compared to the others. And I remember being obsessed with it when I was younger. If I could ever see it through a telescope, that would be incredible. Question 4. Would you like to visit another planet if possible? Answer. For sure. If technology ever made it possible, Mars would be my first choice. Since people are already working on sending humans there, the movies about Mars, and just the thought of walking on another world give me chills. Hope I live long enough for Mars to send me in one of his fancy techy spaceship. Question 5. Do you know anyone who's not interested in planet? Answer. Yeah, my buddy Sam. I never really care about space. I think it's too complicated and prefer topics that feel more connected to everyday life, like tech and cars. I kept telling him he's missing out on one of the coolest things ever, but I cannot ring a bell. Topic: stars. Question 1. Do you like looking at the stars? Answer. Absolutely. There is something magical about staring at the night sky, especially on a clear evening. It makes me feel calm, and sometimes I even try to spot constellation. It's a simple joy that never gets old. Questions 2. Have you ever learned about stars? Answer. To be honest, a little bit. I remember reading about them in the school and being fascinated by how they form and burn for millions of years. Even now, I enjoy watching space documentaries just to learn about them. It's mind-blowing how fast the universe is. Question 3. When was the last time you looked at stars? Answer. A few nights ago. Actually, I was outside and the sky was so clear that I could see them twinkling without any city lights getting in the way. It reminded me of when I used to stargaze as a kid in my village with my cousins. I should really do it more often, as that was the best time of my life. Question 4. Would you like to learn more about stars and the future? Answer. For sure, there is still so much I don't know, and it's fascinating to think about how they impact the universe. And maybe one day I will get the telescope and see them up close, and that would be an amazing experience. Question 5. Do you know anyone who is not interested in star? Answer. A friend of mine does not really care about them at all. He says they all look the same, which I totally disagree with, and I think he just has not taken the time to really appreciate how beautiful they are, and maybe I will drag him outside on one night and change his mind. Yeah, someday. Topic: watch. Question 1. Do you like wearing watch? Answer. I do. It's something I've gotten used to, and I find it quite handy. I like that I don't have to grab my phone every time I need to know the time. Plus, it's a nice way to accessorize my outfit, Questions 2. What kind of watch do you have? Answer. I have a simple one with a leather strap and a smart one for my fitness, and they are sleek and go with just about everything, which is great because I'm not big on flashy accessories, honestly, and I think it's a classic look that never goes out of style. Questions 3. When did you first start wearing a watch? Question. Not sure, but maybe when I was about 12. And it felt so cool back then. It was a basic digital one, and I remember being so proud of it when I showed it off to my pals. I still think back on that moment fondly, and I have kept it as a souvenir. Question 4. Do you know anyone who does not wear a watch? Answer. Of course, a couple of my friends don't wear at all. They prefer just using their phones to check the time, but I feel like it's easier and quicker to glance at my wrist and just roll it, for instance. Instead, just more nature for me and makes me more classy, I guess. Question 5. Would you like to get a new watch in the future? Answer. I'm actually looking at a few options right now. I'm thinking about getting something a bit more unique, maybe a vintage one with a wooden strap, yeah, with a metal band also. It would be fun to try something different for a change, right? Topic learning science. Questions 1. Should scientists explain the research process to the public? Answer. It is essential for scientists to do so, as it is not only bridges the gap between science and everyday understanding, but also helps to dispel any myth or misunderstanding about complex topic. Additionally, making scientific finding accessible could foster curiosity and inspire younger generation to explore careers in science. Questions 2. How do most people stay informed about scientific news? Answer. To my knowledge, most individuals get it through various media outlets, and particularly digital platforms, even it feels like overload information. Whether it's reading scientific journal, watching documentaries, or listening to expert-led podcasts, these resources provide diverse ways to remain updated on new discoveries, and this platform also often break down complicated topics, making them more digestible for the general public. Questions 3. Is it valuable for people to continue studying science after school? Answer. In my experience, this for sure our immense value, because it's not only sharpen critical thinking but also provides individual with the tools to better understand the rapidly evolving world, and moreover, in today's technology-driven age, a strong grasp of scientific principle is vital for adapting to future advancement and getting a good job. Question 4. Which science subject is most important for children to learn? Answer. Biology is arguably the most vital one for learners, as it offers essential insight into life processes like human, plants, animal, health, the environment. Understanding biology equips them with knowledge about how their bodies function and how to maintain a healthy relationship with nature, both of which are increasingly important in today's world. Question 5. Why do some children not enjoy learning science at school? Answer. As I have observed it closely, I would say it's due to a lack of practical and engaging lessons. When scientific concepts are taught in a purely theoretical manner inside class, students often find it difficult to relate to the material or image the concepts. To avoid it, introducing more hands-on activity and real-life application would likely make it enjoyable and easier to grasp.